Hey guys, I'm Jay Betros. My dream job would be a high school coach for either a lacrosse or a football team, and eventually work my way up and to see where it takes me. So, my philosophy as a coach would be to run a clean organization. I want to be disciplined and have convenient planning. I want to build good relationships with my players and be one of the toughest teams to ever play against. Every coach wants to have a nitty gritty, just football team or lacrosse team who comes out hot and is ready to play wherever and whenever, whatever the weather is. Having a team like this calls for a coach that requires a lot of discipline, and I'm very big on that, having discipline in my players. It's very important because it's a building block for your athletes. If you can discipline your players on and off the field, it's teaching them a life lesson, and it will be beneficial for you, but it'll be beneficial for your team in the long run. Um, this is why so many firms and big companies look to hire collegiate athletes because they know that they've, like, through their whole career, they've gone through time management and getting to lifts, getting to practice, and still getting their schoolwork done and doing it efficiently. So it's it calls for a lot of discipline and being good at time management because they had to do it all through school and balancing schoolwork with athletics. So in my past experiences of being a coach over the summer, you need to set some ground rules. Every coach needs to demand respect because if you players don't respect you as a man or as a coach, you're not going to get very far. Having respect for your players is a very big key as well. If you and your players have respect for each other, it can not only bring you closer with your players, but which can play like a major role as a coach. Having players that don't open up to you as a man can be very stressful because you need to have guidance as a coach, and your players can sometimes be the best people for that, and kind of teaching you instead of you teaching them everything because you can learn a lot off of feedback from your players. And having been raised up in a football and a lacrosse family, both are big team sports, and being a coach of a large team can be very hard because the way you act as a coach can determine the way your team is going to act. And as a coach, I would want to have a team with a good reputation because with a team with a bad reputation, a lot of other schools will want your program coming to them and coming to their facilities and playing against them. So I believe that there are three ways of coaching that can be used in different times in life and the age of the athletes. So there is coaching to win, there is coaching to have fun, and there is coaching to develop. And coaching to have fun should be used whenever you're coaching very young athletes that are still in the ages between 4 and 8, just basically teaching them the fundamentals, learning the basics of the sport, and they need to enjoy it. So I believe you should start coaching to develop your players about a year or two before middle school, and this is when you should start teaching your athletes to win and start taking pride in winning. And when you're developing your younger athletes, you need to kind of simplify it for them because you're teaching them new fundamentals of a sport, and you're starting to teach these kids plays and informations and formations of the sport. So this is also a time where some of your athletes will start to stand out, and you'll start to see who's who's good and not necessarily who's good and who's not, but you'll see who your star players are and who just it comes natural to. So this is also a time where um, oh crap, sorry. I believe that coaching and like to win should really start whenever you're dealing with high school kids. So which is right up my alley because I'm wanting to be a coach at the high school level, and I do not like losing. I don't. And this is where your athletes should be developed and know what positions on the field that they are comfortable playing and having the IQ of the game, and they're ready to be coached. So some kids just growing up, you're teaching them the fundamentals, and it can be hard to coach someone who doesn't want to be coached. And at this level of coaching, it's very competitive, and coaches are getting more and more creative with the plays, and they'll do whatever it takes to win. So, which means new athletes are coming in their freshman year, and they need to catch on quick to the program and adjust to the level of play that they're at. And you'll notice that kids that are naturals and they can hop right in with the upperclassmen, and it tends to run a lot smoother. So, being a young coach will come with a lot of adversity because your players can sometimes see you more as a friend and not as a coach, and that can be very stressful because you need to have that balance of being you're more of a coach and being taken seriously instead of having your players joking around with you and not not listening to you as a coach, and that's something that I'm going to have to work on very hard whenever I graduate and I land in an organization that I want to coach. You need to set those ground rules very, very soon. So that's one of my main key points with my presentation is discipline. I grew up in a disciplined family, and I grew up playing two sports that require a lot of discipline on and off the field, and that is my philosophy. Thank you.